Hey guys, it's 𝗧𝗛𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗚 here, and welcome back to another build challenge. So as you can tell from the title of the video, we are going to try and build a house in The Sims 4. But for the first time, I'm going to try and use a painting from the game as a reference. Now this is actually the house pictured in the Paranormal Stuff Pack, and at least from what I know, I don't think anyone has attempted to design this house, so I thought it would be a really cool challenge for today's video. Now of course, I do have to make this harder on myself because this is a build challenge, so we do have a few limitations for today. More or less, I'll only be able to use base game and the Paranormal Stuff Pack, but I will have to use all the items that came with the pack as well. Apart from that, if you guys have the Tiny Living pack, there are 3 different levels of homes you can build, so I will try to keep this house within the 100 tile limit. So diving on in, we are in the world of Windenburg, and I chose this little 20 by 20 lot. It should be sufficient for the house I will be building, and overall, I'm just going to do my best to recreate the house and theme it around the pack as well. Alright, so getting started, I do have the painting up for reference. I'm going to include it for you guys as well, just so you can see what it looks like. And overall, it's a pretty cool little house. It's a very Victorian, Gothic sort of home, but it's got a lot of very interesting roofs as well, which hopefully I can create. I am honestly not very good at mansard roofs, so this will be very interesting. We do have the first level, and there is also a tower up front as well. So it's something like this. Ooh, this roof is tricky. There is a little tiny bit of what looks like a room, perhaps, something like this, and then maybe the mansard roof. Ooh, okay, it does look like the tower extends just a little bit. So let me pull this guy forward. Okay, I think it's a half-hipped roof. All right, maybe go a little bit tinier like this. Because we do need it to come to a point. So I will bring this roof up like this. I think I remember how to do this. It's challenging every time. I totally forget each time, but I think if we do it piece by piece, this will work. So I think we can cover each side just like so. We're still within the 100 tile limit, so that's great. I think that'll help us build maybe a little porch outside. Ooh, the tower is kind of tall though. How do we do this? Rethinking the plan, we do need a little bit of an overhang, so I think I can move this over. And then I think what I can do is pull this room forward like this, just so the roof line matches up. The color, you guys, the color on this place is very strange. It's very dull, but I don't know if it's the editing of the painting or the art style. If I had to guess, I would probably say it's either a white or a very light gray. So let's see what we have for this. Could we do this color? A little bit of a cream, perhaps? It kind of works. It's kind of fitting it a little bit. But I think if this is the color we use, kind of a faded off-white, I think we do need a little bit of a darker tone on the roof. So let me fix this. All right, darker scalloped it is. I think this is the closest thing we can do, which honestly is not too bad. I think that's fairly close. There is some kind of freeze in the middle though. So let's see what we have for that. Okay, so we have that in place. There is a little bit of a weird balcony moment at the front entrance. And yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there, guys, but we're going to try to recreate it. I think what I'll do is actually put all of this on a slight foundation like this. Right, I don't really see any balcony on the side, so that's a little weird, but I do see some columns, so I can only assume there is some kind of balcony going on. So we could do a little moment here like this. We're going to add tiles here. Okay, 79. Then we have 82. And then for the front entrance, I think it's supposed to be a little bit bigger. Maybe this, 85. Can we do one more? And 88. Okay, not bad. We're still in the limit. The other balconies are very small. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Could bring these back once more like this. And now we do have more of a proper porch moment. All right, the stairs on the front entrance are virtually non-existent. I don't see any stairs there. But I think it can have them maybe coming down from the sides. I think that's the closest I can do. Let's go darker, maybe like this, and then add another one over here as well. All right, for railings, we do have a lot of good options. I can keep it in the same style. I almost want to shift it to this option. I think this is a little bit more fitting. All right, the front entrance now. The front entrance is kind of complicated. There are 2 larger windows, I believe, and then there is a taller door in the middle. All right, could we do maybe one in the middle, perhaps? Maybe something like this? Because there is a window on the top of the door, at least from what I can see. And then we have 2 smaller windows on the sides, which kind of look rectangular. Smaller, square-ish windows. Do we have any? I don't think so. I don't think so, you guys. I don't think we're gonna find the perfect match. Because the windows up top look a little rounder. I would say, if I had to take my best guess, it may have been something like this. So we could add these to the tower and put them up here like this, kind of going across. All right, it's not looking too bad. I think we may be able to repurpose them, so I could do 2 more down here. Maybe it's a little bit too much of a repetition, but I think that's honestly the best thing we have. All right, can I find better windows? That is the really important question. I feel like if I could find a window that would match the one on the left, it may not be too bad. I could even do maybe something like this. And it's definitely fitting for a paranormal house. So I think I will do this. I'm going to put it on each side like so. All right, next up, we do need some columns here. It looks like there's only maybe 1 column on each side. So I think that is what we're going to do. Can I add any spandrels? Maybe. Will it let me? I can only add 1 peacefully, and then this chaos ensues. So this is not good. I don't think we can use this. There's also a little flare to the roof, which I'm not really sure if I can do this properly with this mansard style of roof. I can try to add a little tiny bit of a divot, maybe like this. All right, I think this is decent enough. It kind of breaks a little tiny bit, but I think it may be salvageable maybe. I think this is probably the closest I can get. This top part is troubling me, you guys. Unfortunately, we can't make rooms different heights, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. The other thing that I could do is actually make the tower taller and then maybe use half walls on this portion, perhaps. That could be a possibility. If I do that, I'm not really gonna have an easy time putting fence pieces up there. But we also have debug available, so that could be a possibility. All right, partial walls, here we come. Let's try to find something that will match the height, hopefully. Okay, I do think this is as close as we're going to get. Let me just find a darker wallpaper just to make things blend a little bit. Let's bop all of this up as well. So this will be completely closed off. This is a very fake roof up here, but I think it'll do the trick. All right, so this is pretty much it for the mansard roof. It's a little finicky in some parts, but honestly, if you guys have any tips for building these kinds of roofs, please feel free to share them. But with that said, I think we can start on the tower and then putting in some of those debug fence pieces. All right, so this should be fairly straightforward. I think a hipped roof is perfect. Now, in retrospect, the trim does look a little dark, so let me fix these just like this. Could maybe do a little bit of trim around the top, so that could give us a little bit of the depth we're looking for. There was this. It's kind of huge, but I guess if I do it in a dark tone, it could kind of blend a little bit. So maybe something like this. That's actually not too bad. That is not bad, honestly. Let me do a black trim though. That way things will probably blend in just a little bit better. There is also some kind of weird accent on the corners, which I don't know if you guys can see it, but there looks like there are columns maybe in this corner. So perhaps I could pull these and place them up here. Okay, so this is what we have. We do need some fence pieces now, and those are going to be the decorative elements on the roof. Base game, perfect. And I do believe they're down here somewhere. Ooh, okay, here we go. We've encountered some of them, so I think some of these could do, right? I can probably do one here if we can move up a little bit. Where are you? And almost there. Yes, perfect. All right, and it's actually 3 tiles wide exactly, so that actually works out perfectly. We do need some over here as well, near the partial walls, and unfortunately I do have to scale these down because they're going to be too large otherwise. These pieces, you guys, they just don't want to float in place. I don't really know what's going on. I hope it toggles correctly. Goodness, you guys, this is such a hard process. I don't know why things are just kind of bumping everywhere and things are not parallel, but I'm getting it fairly close. I'm getting it as close as possible, so hopefully this does work. Okay, we're finally done with the fence pieces on the roof. Unfortunately, I did have to use 2 smaller options just because the fence pieces would clip through the wall, and we definitely don't want that if the tower is usable. But I think this is getting fairly close to being done, especially with the outside. Now there is a little decorative ornament on top, and honestly, I'm not really sure what we can use to create that moment. But we can look through the debug catalog and hopefully there is something available. Do we have anything in base game for roof pieces? Maybe this old time roof vent. I don't really think it's the right fit, but maybe if it's small enough, it could work. I could put a few more on the corners because I do see something sticking up, so maybe something like this. Okay, here we are. I think this is about it for the front. This is as much as I could get from the picture itself. Thankfully, we will have some leeway with the back and sides, given that there's not really a clear view, but I will try to recreate some of the landscaping as well, because it does look like we are in some kind of bayou or swampy area. Gonna go into terrain paints now and try to create a little bit of a small walkway. But the area does look fairly muddy around it, if I had to guess. It's not really my favorite swatch, if I'm being honest with you guys, but I can possibly use a few more swatches as well, just to kind of blend it in. Definitely will go back to debug now, because if you guys have looked through the debug catalog, there are a lot of cool swampy bits that we can actually use. It does look like we have some larger tree towards the front, so maybe in this position. We do have this one as well, which is actually very full. So maybe something like this, and then have some of these kind of sticking up from the ground. This could be really cool. The vision's coming. It's slowly coming, you guys. I do think that there should be some brambles, maybe some bushes up front. Kind of looks like the house is nestled almost in the woods, so I'll add more of these. I love these fern plants. I think they actually work perfectly here, and I'm kind of sad that I don't use them more often, if I'm being honest with you guys, but there it is, just putting in more of that lovely foliage. I think maybe I could have done maybe one more bush up front, because there is a huge bit of foliage that is pretty close. Unfortunately, we don't really have any dead trees in base game as far as I know. Ooh, better yet, let's do base game, of course. And there is one sculpture with a dead tree. Ah, yes, here it is. Let's do a darker wood, perhaps. We can get those twiggy bits from the picture, which is really cool. And I'm just going to go back to debug and cover the top part of the jug. Okay, so we're super close to finishing the outside. I do think that there are some qualities about the house that I do want to fix. So I do want to see if we can use a better sort of vinyl paneling or wood paneling, if that makes sense. I do think we had something like this that could work. Now we do need entrances to the balcony areas, so I'm thinking I could do something simple, maybe something like this just to get outside. We can't really see anything like that in the painting itself, unfortunately, but I think that does give us a little bit more wiggle room. The foundation is also a little bit jarring with the white trim and the black brick. So maybe I could do something a little bit more textured. I'm thinking I could even do this perhaps. All right, so I think this is it for the outside, guys. This is as close as I could get it using just base game and paranormal stuff pack, of course. And literally the whole outside of this building is just base game. So unfortunately, paranormal did not give us much to work with, but here it is. It definitely has a very Carpenter Gothic aesthetic, I guess. So yeah, I think this is fairly close enough. We're going to go inside now and we're going to use all of the paranormal stuff pack. So this is going to get very interesting. Okay, so if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I did not plan for this floor plan at all. So this will be interesting. We do have the tower over here, which is not too bad. But the problem is it is a very small room. So I'm not really sure what we could do here. I'm thinking it could be a possible seance room if we have enough space. So what I think we can do is actually put perhaps a wall going across like this. And we could do a ladder going up as well. All right, so there is that. We're definitely going to use a lot of the paranormal stuff pack. And of course, like I promised, this is a challenge. So we're going to have to use all the objects that came with that pack. I think for paranormal, we only have one wall swatch, which I think works fine. It's actually a pretty nice swatch. Could do maybe a white, black, and kind of this muted blue tone, this kind of muted teal. This could be really interesting. I do have to use the floor tile, which is this one, and I will grab probably an archway entering the main space. Ooh, yeah, I think that fits the vibe. So let's do this. 73 tiles. We could make this bigger. I guess what I could do is maybe add a small extension if I wanted to, so I could give it a little bit more of a bump out. Ooh, could we do some kind of sunroom? That could be really cool. Do we have any clipping? Yes. The one piece of fern got through, but we can move it back a little bit more. All right, so I think this tile might be a little bit too much. What I think I'm going to do is actually mix in some normal wood as well, just so we have a little bit more variety. Yeah, maybe something like this, just something that can be a little bit different from what we have already. I do have to use the Paranormal Stuff Pack lights, so let me grab those really quickly. Thankfully, they are wonderful lights. They definitely work very well. Now we could have that sunroom moment, which could be really nice. Probably go for a hipped roof like this. And I think if I want to try and stick with a style, I'll give it a little bit of a curve, maybe a kind of bevel going out like this, and then a very decorative glass top. So I think something like this could do the trick. There's honestly a lot of things this room could be, but we definitely need better windows as well. All right, for windows are a little bit slim, but I think we could do something like this, kind of keeping with that wood carpentry vibe. I think this will do the trick. If I go inside, do they glitch? Not really. There's a little bit of glitching. There's just a tiny little bit, but I think it is passable, and it's actually a very lovely room. I actually like the view in here quite a bit. Now the kitchen space, I'm not really sure where it's going to go. My best guess is that I'm going to take up one of these areas, and the other space could possibly be some kind of office, but we do need the bedroom as well. So it's going to be a little chaotic here. Okay, let's see. We can do this. The bathroom should probably be accessible to your guests. I think we can do a little square moment here because we don't really have any paranormal stuff for the bathroom, but I will change out the wallpaper. I will try to find something that maybe is a tile perhaps. Ooh, this one works great. It has the same off-white that the tile has. I think what I'll do, you guys, is I'll only use the tile in the kitchen and bathroom, and then we'll have the regular hardwood planks throughout the rest of the house. That way it's not super overwhelming with all the Paranormal Stuff Pack tiles. Oh, wait a minute. We do have a Paranormal Stuff Pack item that could match. I think it's the one and only chandelier, if I can find it. I don't know if it dangles too low, but we can scale it down just once, and I think that gives plenty of clearance for your Sims. All right, kitchen. Kitchen is very small. The kitchen is very small. It's a very tight space. We don't have any additional content from the Paranormal Stuff Pack with the kitchen itself, but I think we can go for some very kind of standard classic options, maybe something like this. Maybe this is a little too long. It's a bit of a long kitchen, so maybe I'll shrink it back a little bit. Maybe just getting rid of one. My best guess is that the stove will go closer to the fridge, I think. I feel like that is more logical, so let's do that. We're gonna use some glamorous appliances here because I think they'll actually fit better in this home, as strange as it is. So it does match the fridge. I do wanna go a little bit older on the sink, so maybe I could do this option. It's normally one of my favorites, so I think we'll stick with this. Ooh, hanging plants. Yes, here we come. And there are some really nice plants in the Paranormal Stuff Pack. Probably some of my favorites for sure. Do have some for the counter as well. I'm just going to bop them up like this. Ooh, the shelf. The shelf is really nice too. I don't really use the shelf too much, if I'm being honest with you guys. But I do think it has some pretty nice areas that it could fit. I do have to make sure I'm using all of the objects from the Paranormal Stuff Pack as well. So let's do this. I'm going to put everything here. It's not too bad. We do have a lot of stuff, but everything that is in here, we should be able to use somewhere. So I can probably put some candies or something up over here. All right, base game shelf hack. Here we come. Gonna float this into place very carefully. This one here as well, and then float it just like this. So there it is. We knocked out quite a bit of the candies. So there is that. Now I will say, you guys, I'm not going to do the full debug catalog because there are many redundant objects. We already have some in here, but I do think we can still work with them. So hopefully that should cover our bases with this pack. Bathroom is a little weird. We don't really have a good entry point to the bathroom, but I think we can put a door possibly over here. And I will grab these lights once more as well. Definitely will need the standing shower because there is not a lot of space in here at all. All right, let's go simple. Probably something like this. And can I do it in all white? Yes, I can. Definitely need a very narrow sink. So I guess it'll be this one. It is the cheapest option, but I think it'll allow everything to fit the way it needs to. But we could do maybe something like this, or even something a little bit more grand like this even. Toilet has to be very small as well. All right, maybe a medicine cabinet perhaps. Just stick it up against the toilet like this. All right, what can we place in here from the paranormal stuff pack? I have to keep inventory on everything that I used. So what I'm going to do is a little bit weird. I'm actually going to dump everything probably outside and then see what I need to get taken care of. All of these weird soul bits, which I have no idea where we're going to place, but we need a solution for that. All the rest of these candies, which there are way too many, unfortunately, but here they are. Okay, so we have a lot, you guys. There's a lot of stuff we can use, but I did remove things that were already in the build, so this should be everything. We did have this rug as well, but that should not be too hard to place, so let me actually get that done. Fireplace. Fireplace is tricky because we don't really have space for it. Maybe in this little room, I think it's probably the best possibility. There is also this cabinet of curiosities, which again, not really sure. Ooh, it could go over here. This is actually not too bad. It's a little bit crowded if I'm being honest with you guys, but it does fit, so it's not too bad. Maybe if I make this door smaller, this could be a little bit more fitting. If I could fit the totems, if I could fit the soul scraps in here, this may not be too bad, so I can get rid of all of these objects. All right, here we go, you guys. We're gonna put all of the soul coins in this little tiny hutch, I guess we can call it. So let's do this. I'm gonna pull all of them. I think this will be our best solution because otherwise there's going to be so many of them. Curtains, we definitely need. So we'll pull this one and probably put it over here in the bedroom. Lots of furniture, yikes. So that's tricky. I guess I can put all of it in the sunroom. I think that could be really nice. We may not have a true formal dining room, but at least we will have a nice place to relax. All right, these swatches are great. They do fit perfectly. We could use some curtains in there. It is supposed to be a sunroom, but perhaps the sun is a little too blinding sometimes. So I can probably put some maybe over here like this. All right, definitely need the coffee table as well. So here we go again into this very small space. We probably will need another shelving unit because we have all of these soul scraps. I might mix them in with the totems so it's not so repetitive. Ooh, the sunroom. The sunroom is perfect for this. So let me put it maybe over here. This could do the trick. We do have a desk, which is very hard to fit. I'm thinking it could even go maybe in the bedroom again. The bedroom is such a tight squeeze, you guys, but again, we just don't have a lot of options, unfortunately. It's probably gonna be only a one bed sleeper, so that's gonna be sad. Ooh, this one should work well. So let's do this. Maybe I can use this one. I can use this little chest here and then place it next to the bed. So I think that'll work fairly well. Time to use one of the paintings, and I think for the bedroom I can probably use this one. It'll be a little bit of a meta moment, I guess, because it's the house in the house. So there it is. I think that'll work fine. All right, guys, I'm trying to get rid of the last of these candy jars, and I think this room is probably the best bet for them. You know, at least your guests can have a snack. It's not too bad. I may even put some more in the kitchen, but we're gonna have to see. Ooh, I do like these chairs as well. I think we can use some outside actually, just so we have a little sitting area moment. Otherwise, these balconies are kind of pointless, so I think they will fit nicely here. Gonna also use these as well. I'm gonna use up this one metallic end table, and I think this will work fairly nicely out here. All right, and maybe a nice tea tray. A tea tray, and we'll do probably one of these lamps. So I'll put this one here, and then this lovely tea tray, which I do enjoy. We do have the little tiny seance room up here, which could use some love. So I guess we can put this here like this. The crystal ball is missing. Where did I put it? And here you are, perfect. Okay, have to make sure I didn't miss something. So that goes there. Ooh, some of these swatches are kind of fun. I do even like the pure white version, even though I've been using white and cream everywhere, but at least it has a little bit of a texture on it, so we can do this. Probably going to add a little bit of a railing moment because we don't need anybody falling down the stairs. So there we go, just like this. Alternatively, I could use the candles as well. So I could do that. I could also use these and kind of create a little area of protection around this area. Watch these symbols cause even more chaos, because I don't really know exactly how they work. I haven't played with the pack enough, but here we go. Hopefully they have the intended effect. All right, it looks like we have two candles. We have one that is fully intact, and then we have one that is very much melted. So I think we can put the candle maybe over here. Dreamcatcher, this is pretty nice. Not really sure where to put it though. I could put it in here as well as another decoration. You know, 𝗧𝗛𝗓 is actually pretty fitting for the seance room. So let me bring him up. I'll put one probably about there, and then the other one on the other wall as well. Oh, it's still very dark in here. Okay, so I think at this point I could just do maybe 2 of the sconces. I think that should be good enough. All right, we still have a lot of little bits left, but it's not looking too bad, you guys. We're slowly clearing this stuff out. Okay, let's use this accent table. I'm going to use some of the slots from it, and then I think what I'll end up doing is using another shelf from Paranormal. That way we can stack as many things as we can in this space, because we have so many little objects left. Right, here we go. Do they fit? Yes, they do. Perfect. So we do have 1 left. Maybe we can bring 1 up for protection, possibly in the seance room. All right, only a few things remain. Fortunately, we still have a lot of these soul scraps, which I'm kind of running out of places to put them, if I'm being honest with you guys. I can put a few of them probably up here like this. Could we do another shelf maybe over here? So Dreamcatcher we do have, I feel like it should be up against a window, or even up here where the seance is occurring. So I think that is a pretty nice accent there. Lots of little trinkety bits. We do have the cow plant, which unfortunately does not scale down very well. I'm thinking it could even go in here as part of this little sunroom area. Ooh, we do have all of these candies, and this is just too much over here. So let me see if I can relocate some of these objects. We did have some up there. I can still put some on the counter. You know, if Sims didn't know any better, this would be like the witch's house from Hansel and Gretel. But you know what? If you have a sweet tooth, this is definitely the place to go. So here it is, the infinite supply of candies, right? And only a few things left. We have the helping hand, which again, I'm not really sure where it should go. I do kind of like it on the desk. I think that's a really fun moment. And then maybe put this last piece on the desk as well. As a matter of fact, I do like this chair quite a bit. So I think maybe I can swap these out up here. I'm actually going to move the helping hand. So that's another object we have. And I'll put it maybe over here on the little altar. So plenty of things to protect your Sims when they are conducting a seance. I almost missed one of my favorite plants. So this definitely needs to go somewhere. Oh, perfect, this one. Yeah, I do love this object quite a bit, and it adds a really nice ambience, so I think I'll probably use more of this. Ooh, I do like the matching curtain with the bedspread. That actually works great. A little bit of white or cream with maybe a periwinkle? Something for the corner. Could we do a dresser? I'm not sure if it's going to be accessible, but we're gonna put it here anyway. Oh, I do love those base game pictures as well. The ones that kind of look like different possible occult symbols. So we could do even this object, just shrink it down a little bit like this. All right, yes, this wood is working a lot better. So let me do this just to add a little bit more contrast. Ooh, we have no place to take off our shoes. So let me grab maybe this one. Hanging plants, here we come. They're going to really jazz up the space. So I'll put one maybe over here. And then hopefully I can put maybe a small shoe rack. I think that makes sense. Ooh, we definitely need a chimney because that would be problematic. Probably should go somewhere in this little corner just so we have something. Let's use probably maybe this one. Do an all black and just make it very small like this. All right, guys, so in retrospect, I'm looking at the debug catalog for Paranormal, and I think I can actually use everything this pack came with for this build. I'm thinking that a lot of the cursed objects can actually be outside, and potentially the house itself could be a possible safe haven from all of this malevolent activity. So I think we're going to do that, and that should be the final touch on this build. All right, so going in, we do have these really weird goo puddles that I do remember. I have played with this pack a little bit. I think I would like to kind of scatter them in the bushes. That could be kind of interesting. I'm going to assume if your Sim is outside, they're going to become deathly terrified. So please stay within the house where all of the protective occult items are. There is this weird ghost badge, which I'm not really too sure about. I don't think it's cursed, so I'm actually going to put it inside. And I think I'll put it over here on the desk and then use this one as well. Okay, we also have these very interesting tendril objects, which I know are part of the curse as well. They do fit outside, which is great. So I'll probably scatter them along with the bushes. There are plenty of dolls left, which are very interesting. There's only one creepy or evil doll, supposedly. So I guess we can probably hide her somewhere. Ooh, it could be creepy if she's just kind of sitting in a tree trunk. I think that could be really fun. So let me just bump her up over here like this. The rest of the dolls, I believe, are supposed to be good. There is one that looks exactly like her. but it's supposed to protect us from the bad spirits. So I guess we can kind of put them throughout the inside. You know what? We could almost do a full trio like this, and I think you guys will know what cartoon I'm referencing here, and these girls should be way more than capable of protecting you. Yes. All right, perfect. The powerful trio. There it is. All right, so we have a few items left. We have this weird ecto-cake object, which I've never interacted with before, but it'll probably go in the kitchen. We also have these 3 goblets, which I presume to be some kind of potion. So we'll have those. We do have these creepy hands, which we can hide in the swamp area. We do have these commemorative hands, which are not evil, but could be placed in the house. And then these 3 specter containers, if I'm not mistaken. So I do believe these hold ghosts. So I think I will go ahead and put the cake in the kitchen. I feel like that's probably the most appropriate place for it. Yeah, I could probably get one more shelf and then maybe put it along this wall perhaps. I hope your Sims can get through, but I'm going to believe they can. Not really sure if you're supposed to drink them, but here we go. Could be a fun surprise for your Sims, so there it is. Maybe it makes you more invulnerable to spiritual activity. Spooky hands are these, and I'm going to stick them near the puddles of goo. I think that makes fairly enough sense. What do we have left? We have these commemorative statues, which I think would be considered victories for overcoming supernatural activity. Could we put one maybe up here perhaps? Probably should move him into this room, so I'll probably move this over here because it's a little jarring, and then I'll put this one right about here, just mirroring with the other one. All right, and finally we have the 3 specter jars, which I'm not really sure what to do with. Perhaps we can put them maybe in here. Maybe I can put all of these soul scraps together and then have the jars kind of displayed maybe next to them perhaps. All right, pretty good, pretty close I'd say. So there it is. All right, so that is it. That is pretty much all of the content from the Paranormal Stuff Pack. I really hope I didn't miss anything. I know that there are duplicates of a lot of items, but this is pretty much it. We used absolutely everything. And of course, the main inspiration was the painting itself. So this is it, guys. This is the final result of the outside. Just went in and added a little bit more furnishing on the front, as you can see. But you know, going on in, it is a very small space. We do have a little entryway area that's kind of like a mud room, so you can take off your shoes. There is a ladder going up to the tower as well to our main seance room with plenty of paintings. I think this is almost all the paintings from the pack. And then lots of protective objects as well. Of course, going on down, we have the little kitchen area here. It's kind of a nice wraparound with a double window moment. And we do have a powerful trio of girls here protecting you. Again, I think you guys get the reference. But here it is more or less full of candy as well, because for some reason there is just a lot of candy with this pack for some reason or another. But next to it, we do have the little tiny bathroom, fairly straightforward, but fairly elegant and simple, using a lot of base game. We do have a sort of cabinet of curiosities before you go into the big sunroom, so lots of occult items there. We do move into this little tiny bedroom that's sort of crammed. It's kind of like an office as well, but we do use a lot more of the Paranormal Stuff Pack here, with of course a lovely fireplace to keep warm. I did see this plant was clipping, so let me just shimmy it over a little bit. Finishing off the build is one section of the house that was not originally in the painting, and this is the full sunroom. So it kind of serves as a living room. We don't really have a dining room in this house, but it could be a really cool place to entertain guests. And of course, if you have many artifacts from your paranormal pursuits, this would probably be a good way to show them off to everyone visiting. Now, of course, like I said, we did incorporate all of the debug as well. So if Sims go outside, please be careful. There are a lot of very evil supernatural objects around. So please be cautious of them. And if you can remove them, even more power to your Sims. With that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this challenge. It was definitely very hard just working with base game for the outside, and of course trying to pull from debug to kind of mirror the painting the best I could. Of course, I also did my best to use all of the Paranormal Stuff Pack and only base game, so everything from the regular objects to the hidden objects and the debug objects. Hopefully everything did make it in this build. As always, please feel free to let me know how I did. Did I do the painting justice? Is it somewhat close? Do you like the inside? Please feel free to share all of your thoughts and comments. On that note, I will see you all in the next build challenge. And just like always, this has been 𝗪𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Thank you so much for watching, guys.